what, if anything, did you take from your experience with the Air Force that helps you out today?
Oh man, it's I could go on and on, but I would start with discipline. It taught me how to maneuver throughout different situations. Like growing up in Chicago, and I tell people this all the time. Getting in the military was really my first time around other people that wasn't black. You know what I'm saying? It's like Chicago's a really like it's a segregated city for real. I think it's the number one segregated city in the country, if I'm not mistaken. But so in the military, it just taught me how to maneuver around like different people. That's important with business, as we all know. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be around your own all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
that taught me valuable lessons as well as discipline, just being able to adapt to things. Because it's the military, so many uncertain things that can happen in the blink of an eye. So it always taught me how to adapt and be military minded as far as like the way I move, the way I treat things and stuff like that.
Got you. How about you, Corey? Because you were Army, right?
Yeah, I was in the army. I didn't learn those same kind of lessons.
All right, well, shout
I
out to the
got
Air Force then.
yeah. Shout out to the Air Force. I learned about a lot about contract law in the
Mm,
army. Yeah, like if it ain't in writing, it didn't happen. And so I
yeah.
learned a lot about that. Yeah, so you know about that in the military. I learned a lot about contract law in the military. If it ain't in writing, it didn't happen.
Okay,
Fact,
well,
Um,
everybody has their journey, man. So that's just unique to you guys. But so after the Air Force, what was your like next step to get into business?
So so in 2017, well no 2016. So this was I was 3 years in the military, and I was just, to be honest, man, I was just worried about having a ball. I wasn't worried about nothing, man, because like my whole life, I always knew like I knew I was gonna have my stuff together, but I always thought like, man, I got my whole life to get my stuff together. You know, I'm young, ain't no rush. But in 2016, I got tasked with a deployment, and so they told me like, if you're familiar with the military, you know, like deployments, they could task you and let you know if you got 5 days to leave or you got 6 months. In my case, I had like 5 months. So before I left, they was like, all right, we want everybody to make a will. You know, you going overseas just in case something crazy happened. It's the military. Just in case bomb drop, you die. Make a will, tie your stuff in order. So I was making a will. And while I was making it, I realized I ain't had nothing, bro. Like I remember I had 10 pairs of shoes. I had an Xbox. I had a watch that my girl bought me. And I remember at that moment, like it was the lowest moment of my life, bro. Like literally the lowest moment. I was just looking around like, damn, if I die right now, I literally ain't got nothing. It's like I've been living for no reason. So my mindset of having like, I got my whole life to get stuff together, I realized that's not true because anything could happen. So then I was just like, all right. So I went on the deployment, and when I went on this deployment, I saved all my money. So I came back home, I had about like $25,000. Granted, it ain't a lot of money, but it was enough for me to be like, all right, I can make some moves now. So then the first thing I did when I was deployed, I was researching like crypto. This was before it popped and all that. So I started investing in cryptocurrencies. It popped. I made some bread. You know, I started investing in the stock market. Started buying Amazon. I started getting into Amazon at like $900 a share. Started buying to Apple, Facebook, and then I used some of that money, got into real estate. So it was just like a trickle effect,
Yeah,
for me.
I saw your post, how I
Yeah,
turned 25,000 into 100,000 within a year.
yep.